Did Triple H finally bring order to Raw's chaos and finally explained why he fired The Miz and R-Truth last week? And Mark Henry, world's strongest man or the world's first human eclipse? It's the Nature Girl 30 here, come to you with a Raw review for September 26, 2011. A coup being pulled on a coup. Well, the coup. Did we see that coming? Yes. Did we see Otunga as the leader? No. But do we care if he's the leader? Not really. This is a Nature Girl 30 here. And honestly, we all knew that they were going to talk about the Awesome Truth firing this past Monday Night Raw. Now, I understand that they were trying to bring more power to the COO, to Triple H's character as the COO, trying to bring more power, no nonsense to it. And I actually appreciate that because the fact that Raw has been chaotic for a very long time. And even with the anonymous general manager, that got played out and boring. So they actually have to bring more flavor back to Raw. Besides the whole ridiculous Super Show, they had to bring more flavor back to Raw by Triple H's COO character ruling with an iron fist, which is something that I actually do admire. But the fact is that they had so many gaps that they just didn't feel that it really made no reason why, it was no reason why they actually did it in the first place. And let me explain this. Okay, we all knew that for those that actually did keep track with WWE throughout the years, we all know that Randy Orton did the exact same thing. He practically terrorized Raw. Not only Raw, he practically terrorized Triple H's immediate family. Not only did he take out his wife, he took out his father-in-law and his son-in-law, making everybody afraid of him. Even them. That's why Stephanie has not been back, because Randy Orton scared the crap out of her. Why wasn't he fired? Not only that, Mark Henry has been terrorizing not only Raw but SmackDown and scared the crap out of everyone to the point where no one wants to wrestle him. Why hasn't he been fired? So the fact that they fired the Awesome Truth but then just fined Mark Henry doesn't really make any sense. It didn't really add up. I mean, it didn't answer anything. And the fact that they did a little montage of the whole incident of last week and what Awesome Truth did prior to their apology, and the fact that they showed the apology also didn't make any sense. So I know what they were trying to do. It was just an epic fail. Like, it was something they really shouldn't have done in the first place. But we all know that the weak ones, or what I call the weepy ones, are like trying to pull a coup on the coup with John Laurinaitis as the ultimate leader. While Otunga has tried to put his whole ridiculous law degree into it. Well, not the fact that anything from Harvard is ridiculous. It's just the fact that he's actually throwing it out there when he's a wrestler. When you're a wrestler, and even though you graduated from Harvard Law and you don't practice law, you have no reason to mention law. I mean, that's how I see it. But anyway, just the fact that the weaker ones are trying to pull a Christian and actually try to bring some law into this and some issues of lawsuits and way to try to get back at him or whatever, it's ridiculous. And not only that, I don't want John Laurinaitis to be the Neo the Neo Vince McMahon. I don't want another Vince McMahon. I want Vince McMahon to stay wherever he's at on whatever pile of money that he's sitting on, just sitting there chilling. I'd rather him be over there chilling than come back to the WWE, because I mean, Vince had it, like, he had it all together during the Attitude Era and a little bit ways down, but honestly, he needs to rest. And he needs to stay where he's at. And they need to stop trying to promote John Laurinaitis to be the Neo Vince. I don't want that. Besides, John Laurinaitis has a personality of a piece of paper. He's transparent. He's dull. and you can see right through him. He doesn't need to be on TV. They need to stop trying to promote him. He does not have any personality or charisma for anyone to listen to him. Honestly, just stop altogether. But anyhow, as for the matches themselves, they were actually pretty interesting, and that's one thing that I actually liked for Triple H's little intro for the night. The fact that he put 2 championships on the line for that night was pretty cool. And then the fact that, then I understand how Teddy Long had to go out there and he ended up making his match, but I'll get into that a little bit later. As for the IC Championship match, the 10-man over the top rope, I was actually looking forward to Ted DiBiase winning, and unfortunately he did not. And Cody Rhodes has, when it comes to wrestling, he has better skills than Ted DiBiase. But Ted DiBiase has great potential as well as charisma, and it needs to be pushed. And unfortunately, he has not won a singles title since he's been there, and I think that he needs to be promoted. He's a really great young talent, and he needs to be promoted. And it kind of saddened me the fact that he did not win. But Cody Rhodes retains the championship, and I guess it's good that he has. It's just probably not the right time for him to lose his belt yet. But as for the U.S. Championship, as much as I love me some Zack Ryder, I actually thought that it would have been epic that Zack Ryder would have won. Like, it really would have been. It would have been great if he won the starter belt. Because Zack Ryder has been the internet champion for how long he has been the internet champion. And it's time for him to actually win a belt. Not a belt that he had to make up. A belt that's actually a part of the WWE. That would have been awesome. It's great that they're putting him on the air. But come on, give him a belt. Especially the starter belt. That'd be great. The U.S. Championship. That would have been great. But unfortunately, Dolph Ziggler remains champion, which sucked. But then later on, he ended up having a tag match with Air Boom versus him and not Dolph Ziggler, but him and Jack Swagger. And honestly, and then there was a third guy that Vicky Guerrero had to pick, and I think it was Mason Ryan. And Mason Ryan ended up double crossing both of them and ended up having Zack Ryder and his team win, Air Boom win, which really wasn't much of a shocker. And honestly, I really wish that there'll be a time that Dolph Ziggler would actually get rid of Vicky Guerrero and try to go out on his own so he won't seem less wussy. And the fact that he would have to have a woman build up his career. And then what happened to the feud between him and A-Rod? That kind of died out real quick. I don't think it was ever resolved. And honestly, I think that, it wasn't like A-Rod versus The Miz. Now, that was something that was built up. But A-Rod versus Dolph Ziggler, it just seems to me that A-Rod is starting to really phase out. What happened to that feud? That was kind of a really interesting feud, and it kind of got people interested. But now you kind of throw Jack Swagger into the mix, and I don't know, it's all kinds of confusing. But the Divas match really did make me happy because of the fact that Beth Phoenix and Natalya actually won one. If you're trying to promote the Divas of Destruction, don't you think that they need to win a few matches to be taken a little bit more seriously instead of being dominated night after night? Not to mention the fact that they got buried on a pay-per-view. That's embarrassing enough. And now the Hell in a Cell is like 2 weeks away and they actually have a Hell in a Cell match? Wow. Hey, Kelly, you want to be the champion? Well, you gotta pay your dues, honey. You gotta get beat up a little bit more. But John Cena versus Christian. It's like Christian's gonna have a match against Randy Orton on SmackDown. He has a match against John Cena for tonight, and he has another pay-per-view with Sheamus in a Hell in a Cell match. Why? Look, Christian brought it when it came to Randy Orton because him and Randy Orton clicked. They actually clicked in the ring. They had great ring chemistry. They were great, and they were great matchmakers. Like, honestly, they were great in the ring. But Sheamus versus... No. I'm not really sure if that's going to be an epic match. I think that's going to be an alright match, but not an epic match. I actually, when Sheamus and Zeke were actually facing off for the IC Championship, I was looking forward to seeing them fight. Then him versus Christian, and I'm really tired of this whole one more match thing. Like I said about Mark Henry, the whole angry black man thing with Mark Henry is going to be played out. The whole thing with Christian whining about one more match is going to be played out. And Christian's supposed to be Captain Charisma. Where's the charisma? Like, really, what happened? But the final match of the night was CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio. Now, two brawlers, especially two brawls with great technical maneuvers, like when it comes to submission moves, who actually excel at submission moves. I'm looking forward to that. And that was a really great match. Very entertaining. Really kept me interested. But, it was a given that CM Punk was going to win because we all know that Alberto Del Rio's championship reign probably ran out. And it's not going to go further than what it is. He's just going to be a villain for now. He's going to be a heel for now. CM Punk is kind of like an anti-hero. You can't really say that he's a heel or he's a face. He's an anti-hero for now. He may change into something else. I don't really know what it is. But honestly, for the whole night, I gotta give it a C-. I have to give the Raw for the night a C-, and it's because of the huge gap in I guess you would consider it a plot hole, but it's just the fact that for those that actually kept in touch with Raw, we all know that this was done before. And then also with Mark Henry's tyrannical reign, beating people up, especially those backstage, why wasn't he fired? You fire Awesome Truth, but then you don't fire Mark Henry. It doesn't really fit well into the plot. And then it's bad enough that, as much as I like Triple H, it's a shame that Triple H is getting too involved in the plot. He's not pulling himself out a little bit more to allow the wrestlers to have their own thing and be a part of their own feud or their own plot. He has to be involved in the entire plot, which is starting to become a little bit too much. Especially the fact that poor Tay Long has been fighting for power, even though he is the GM of SmackDown. He has literally been fighting for power ever since that Triple H has become COO. So he had to come out and make his own match. The whole 6-man tag match, which is honestly, like I said before, really, 6-man tag. But honestly, Triple H really needs to back off of the whole feud and plot things. And then also, we really need to work on the writing because the plot holes can really mess up a good story. You don't want that to happen. You can get away with that crap in the 80s, but not so much here. There are people that are smarter than they were in the 80s. But anyway, I'm giving it a C- for the night. That is my view. That is my review and my rating for the night. So this is the Nature Girl 30 signing off, resting my voice because I sound like a dude. Peace out. Have a good night.